interests. The third category in learning achievement is closely linked to educational activities and family involvement in them. Research consistently shows there is a strong relationship between the level of family engagement and a child's higher scores for achievement. Though one might suggest that income level or education influences these findings, involvement is shown as a significant and consistent improvement in scores for all income levels and backgrounds. Family engagement has many facets to support achievement. Lower levels of family engagement involve basic reporting of grades by teachers with little explanation or direction. However, as a parent's level of engagement increases through interaction with teachers, and both teachers and families work to provide the optimum learning environment, great success can be achieved. In student achievement, the focus is often on student behavior. However, two areas of a family-focused program involve parent learning and family conversation. In Massachusetts, Boston Public Schools have created a parent university that can help parents gain knowledge for student achievement while additionally recognizing parent achievements. Working with a community goal to provide parent education, the district offers a variety of classes such as a literacy program, a math handbook for parents, and ESL curriculum. Parents can earn credits to graduate from the courses, receiving a certificate when 9 credits are accumulated, and the opportunity to graduate with honors. The Parent University not only helps families take a more active role in their students' learning and achievement, but additionally creates a culture of success as the student sees the parent learning and achieving. Engaged families act not only in the role of educator to support student success and learning, but they also take leadership roles in the school system, becoming an active part of the decision-making process. Many barriers exist to prevent parents from feeling comfortable working in the school system. Authors Turnbull, Irwin, and Sodak warn that families positioned as subordinates will be less likely to initiate conversations, ask for clarification, share family circumstances, share resources, and participate in advocacy. It's then critical that families feel they have an integral role and even take leadership positions in the engagement process. Leadership development involves everything from a parent or family member gaining leadership skills to serve in the school system to families reaching out to other families, creating networks of support and strength in the education system overall. A parent committee in Federal Way Public Schools in Washington is an example of how parents take an active role in leadership activities, shaping and defining the vision for the school. In St. Paul, Minnesota Public Schools, the Family and Community Involvement Coordinator wanted to connect these parent leaders and developed a parent cohort model to connect parents with each other by grades, sharing resources specific to their child's grade level, allowing parents to work with other parents to build connections, and facilitating school improvement. Families' engagement in the governance process of the school requires families' active organizing and planning. A family's presence and participation in governance structure ensures links are made to accountability and decision-making. In Oakland Unified School District, the district administers a use your voice survey and a school scorecard for families to voice their concerns and provide feedback that fosters accountability. Over 30,000 community members and parents complete the survey each year, and this information is used for ongoing planning and improvement. In St. Paul, Minnesota Public Schools, parent advisory committees have been formed to represent specific needs, such as early childhood, special education, and minority families. These committees, made up of parents and family members, ensure that the needs of the groups they represent are being met and act as a resource for these families. Taking on leadership roles and participating in the governance of the school facilitate the long-term cultural change desired through incorporating family-focused programs. Families' leadership roles lead them to move beyond establishing social networks of support to act as strong advocates for their children and school improvement. Much of the programs and practices described previously in learning and leadership contribute to advocacy for children. Taking initiative to have ongoing conversations with teachers and administrators will not only promote school success, but will build pathways to college and future careers for children. In Maryland, Prince George's County Public Schools have made a special effort to reach out to a group that is seldom seen advocating. Those are fathers. Through programming encouraging male participants, the district supports and creates demand parents, teaching them to navigate the educational system and demand the best from schools that serve their children. Parents taking active responsibility in making sure the child's needs are met moves them from a supportive role to an advocate role and increases their level of engagement. At the lowest levels of advocacy, school improvement is located with the staff only, and staff don't include families in understanding their children's learning and achievement. The responsibility to advocate for each individual child lies with the family, however, though teachers and administrators can do much to encourage and train parents, as was done in Maryland, to become advocates. As parents understand their role as advocates and participate more fully in the decision-making process, their confidence can create the transformational parent-teacher relationships that Cochran-Smith described as essential. In this relationship, families take the lead in identifying and addressing their children's needs, and the teacher becomes a reflective, respectful partner in the educational experiences of children. The fourth and final area used to assess levels of engagement in family-focused programming is systems. Systems deal with the process and effectiveness with which information is communicated. It also involves the training, professional development, and support that staff receive in communicating and working with families effectively. Because schools are the connection to all children in a community, they bear a great responsibility to reach out to families. Relaying information to parents and family members is a challenge. Beyond the simple process of a child carrying a note home, schools must find a way to help families receive important messages, evaluate them, and act on the information they've received. School systems have used various methods and media to inform families, from simple flyers, phone calls to advertisements on the radio and television. Though all of these methods have some level of effectiveness, the underlying core in effective communication is to establish a relationship between schools and families where each feels a sense of accountability to communicate and listen to information given. In Wichita, Kansas, administrators began a relationship of open communication before the school year begins through what they call porch visits. Family engagement teams organize these staff visits to student homes in order for staff to introduce themselves and make families feel welcome as members of the school community. Though the task of communication may seem overwhelming, the idea of forming relationships of reciprocal communication is critical in the system. Federal public schools in Washington conduct What Every Parent Wants to Know workshops, where parents can ask questions of teachers and administrators, and teachers can share specific ways parents can support their child's academic progress. Programs and professional development trainings are also a critical element to help staff find effective ways to facilitate communication and promote open relationships with families of diverse backgrounds. Though this component of the system involves little family participation, it does affect the culture of family engagement, and family advocates can encourage and support this kind of professional development. In the federal public schools in Washington, all employees, from bus drivers to principals, learn skills to ensure that parents feel welcome and needed as partners in enhancing their children's learning. As schools move away from one-time training events to ongoing discussions about family involvement, expectations for higher levels of engagement will be achieved. In addition, some schools are now linking family involvement with evaluation, viewing it as an important part of professional evaluations. Family engagement practices add insight to program design and development of intergenerational programs. Intergenerational programming generally involves youth and seniors, but the principles that make up intergenerational programming are very closely connected with those that support family engagement. In defining intergenerational programs through our online course, Dr. Kaplan wrote this description of intergenerational programs. Though parent and child relationships are not generally considered intergenerational, interfamilial relationships, whether grandparents, parents, aunts, uncles, or siblings, also seek to do many of the same things, namely stimulate, educate, support, and otherwise care for one another. This idea of two different generations benefiting each other coincides with the working relationships that schools hope to promote as they help parents and family members be active participants in their child's success. Family engagement has the highest level of interaction because the relationships of family members carry permanence. Defining principles and practices that encourage the greatest behavior change in a family's natural environment through interfamilial communication and practices, and in some cases intergenerational communication, will only strengthen the potential of schools and other service providers to have greater effect in an individual's life. Intergenerational programs could model many of the principles illustrated in the rubric, making these practices a part of daily life.